Howdy, howdy, folks. It is the Yinzer therapist Ryan Delaney here again for another mindful moment. Thank you so much for tuning in. Uh, you guys may have noticed, probably not, but it's been a little bit since I've done one of these. And the reasons is that I've been doing some trainings, I've been taking some classes, I've been really working on honing my skills, not just as a mental health therapist, but also as a content creator, also as somebody who wants to take my knowledge of mental health and bring it to the masses. So hopefully what I've learned is going to help us move forward with this project and continue to gain an audience and gain a following. Um, but we'll see. It really depends on you guys, the viewers, if you're going to be able to like this video, if you're going to subscribe to my channel, and most importantly, if you're going to share what we learn here today with all your friends, right? And what we're going to be sharing here today, again, hopefully, is creating a very healthy, mindful space where we're working hard to block out the intrusive thoughts. We're working hard to block out the negative self talk and focus on ourselves and our being. Right? Focus on just existing. The reason I'm calling this series Mindful Moments is I'm encouraging people to take the time, the duration of this video, to really take a moment to connect with themselves, to connect with their senses on how what they're thinking, what they're feeling. Are they happy with how their day is going? Or what do they want to do when they get off of work? I want us to really take these moments together to heal, to calm, to sit, to still, to feel, to exist. In developing mindfulness as a practice, it takes time and effort. Um, for some of you, when you hear the word mindfulness, you might be thinking of meditation, right? And yes, mindfulness could be a part of meditation, but mindfulness can also be a way of life, right? A lot of the Zen monks out there will walk around all day long and be mindful with every step they take. In our hustle bustle lives, that's not an easy thing to do, but we can work on getting there, right? And that's what I invite you guys to do with these mindful moments, is to take that time to practice some of these coping skills. Because one of the things that I'm going to be doing during our time here, during these moments, is demonstrating various coping skills, right? Is really trying to help teach people how to manage the stress of today's world, right? So, in order to do that, what I'd first like to start with is just a very, very simple breathing exercise, right? We want to really kind of take stock of where we're at with things, and how we feel and how the day is going, what our mood is. And one of the best ways to take a simple check, a simple refresh during the day is 10 big, deep breaths. Okay. So please, if you're watching this, please sit comfortably. Breathe in for as long as you can. Breathe out for as long as you can. Do things at your own pace, right? Please don't do anything to hurt yourself. But let's work together to take 10 deep breaths. And then let's pause for a moment and we'll see how it feels after. Okay. So here we go, 10 big, deep breaths. Now, I will admit, that I definitely lost track of how many deep breaths that was. I was trying to count. I usually do one inhale, two exhale, so that I, for a count of 10, it's 20 for me. But I started either way. That was about 10. I know I could already feel the relaxation hitting my chest, hitting my brain. I can feel the imposter syndrome about making these kinds of videos dissipating a little bit, right? And giving me that faith to keep going forward. For those of us that were able to, or willing to do that breathing exercise, please, in the chat and the comments, let me know how it went. Let me know if you felt any different, right? Um, it should, in a way, sometimes be very instantaneous. So I hope that was a good little taste of the coping skills that we want to work on. Um, Please keep that in mind and keep working with that. Remember, a big thing about our coping skills is we want to practice them. We don't want to just do them when we're upset. We want to do them over and over and over again and really build those connections in our brain so that way when we need to use them, they're there, they're viable. Well, that breathing exercise sure was fun. Doing things a little different here today. Usually, I would make a live video and just go for it, so I wouldn't let my imposter syndrome stop me from releasing anything to make sure the content actually see the light of day, no matter how good or bad it is. This time, I'm trying to do a little different and record different clips to try to give the moment a little bit more structure, a little bit more pizzazz. Gives me a little bit more practice to nail the take, so to speak. My hope is to be able to piece together different segments throughout a week and release a weekly episode of different topics related to mental health. If there are any topics, any advice, anything that you are wondering, the viewers out there, please don't hesitate to comment, reach out, find my email address. There'll be all kinds of links in the comment section below so you can find my website. Um, you know, I really want to help bring my mental health knowledge to the masses, right? We live in a very topsy turvy, crazy, mixed up world. It is very tough and scary and alarming out there in a lot of ways. We definitely need all the mental health support that we can get, and we don't always have the time, unfortunately, to devote to a formal therapeutic practice. Um, yes, I do encourage everybody to get out there and get themselves a therapist. I think an hour a week is definitely a worthwhile sacrifice for our own mental health, but just sure, it's money, time, sometimes it's just not realistic. So I'm hoping that not that these kinds of videos will serve as a replacement to therapy, but will help bridge that gap and help people really recognize how much they are struggling with their mental health and how much they do need to seek some outside assistance. Um, so one of the things that I wanted to do with these mindful moments is kind of talk about different therapeutic concepts I use with my clients that I find very helpful, and sharing it in a format like this again to try to get other people's opinions on it, see what other people think, and also really educate people and help people understand, how to better manage their mental health and survive in this crazy mixed up world of ours, right? So as I was racking my brain about various phrases that I use, concepts that I talk about in session. One of the first ones that I really wanted to make sure I talked about, and I tried my best to explain and capture on camera, is what I call putting on the investigator hat and looking for the evidence. Right. Um, I think just generally in life, we should always be learning, always be questioning, always be looking for the evidence to back up our claims, right? And one of the big reasons I say this is how tricky our brains can be, right? I know my brain loves to tell me all kinds of things that just aren't true, right? That I'm a failure, that my wife wants to replace me with somebody better, that my kids don't love me, right? There's all kinds of mean, horrible things that my brain loves to tell me that are not true. If I took everything my brain said at face value and believed it with the utmost truth, it would not be good at all, right? I have to put my investigator hat on, look for the evidence. Thankfully, with feeling like a failure, feeling like my wife wants to replace me, things like that, there's a whole litany of evidence that I can point to that indicates that is not the truth, right? So I think it is a very important skill of ours to really look at. Right. Sometimes when we're out shopping, it could feel like somebody is staring at us or following us or, this or that. Right. Look for the evidence. Maybe they weren't. Maybe it was something completely different. Our brains like to play tricks on us. And one of the things I think this is important for me in my own marriage uh, is when the brain comes up with questions that I can't find the answers to. When there's things that I'm really struggling with, but I don't necessarily think are true, right? I'm able to voice them. I'm able to talk about them. I'm able to bring them up to my wife and say, hey, I was kind of thinking this, and she'll be like, nah, and bam, anxiety gone, issue gone, right? Because I was able to voice it and talk about it. But if we're not putting our investigator hat on, if we're not looking for that evidence, we may not even know those problems exist. We may not even know that that is what's bothering us, right? One of the biggest things about getting somebody's mental health in order when we're starting off is building the awareness, right? And putting on our investigator hat, looking for the evidence is very much part of that awareness process, right? Putting that hat on and look at it. Do I need to eat this meal right now? What am I eating this meal for? Right? Am I eating because I'm bored? Am I eating because I'm hungry? Am I eating because I'm sad? Right? There's a whole lot of reasons we might be eating. If we don't put the investigator hat on, we don't look for the evidence for our craving or for our hunger, we could eat for very wrong reasons. We could be eating our feelings away, right? And that might be something that's really contributing to a lot of other health issues, right? So it's definitely it's one of those phrases that if you ever had the pleasure of working with me in a therapeutic session here in my office, that you definitely hear me use a lot, right? Where's the evidence for that? Where's your supporting structure? Right? Your brain says that yes, but put that investigator hat on and let's evaluate that claim, right? Let's really look and see if you're a failure. Let's really look and see if that was stupid or embarrassing or shameful, right? Let's really look and see those moments. And a lot of times when you are able to sift through that perception filter and really, identify the bias, you can understand that your brain is just playing tricks on you. It's being mean, that some of these things just aren't true. So, yeah, now this is where needing to get the reps in and practice these clips is important. This is another reason why I'm trying not to record live today and assemble a bunch of clips together, because this was a segment about putting our investigator hat on and looking for the evidence, trying to look at different key terms and phrases that I use in session to really help my clients. And I'm not exactly sure how to transition to the next segment. So we'll see if this makes it to the final video. Well, one of the things that I really want to do with the expansive mental health knowledge I have, the clinical mental health training I have, is I want to continue to find ways to combine it with more Eastern philosophy, specifically percussive healing. This is a steel tongue drum. I also have a hand pan over there. I got bongos over there. I got a djembe at home. We're really discovering the power of vibrations and how healing vibrations can be, especially with drumming, especially with music. As a mental health therapist, I've really been able to see the benefit the drumming has and the benefit that engaging in that progressive healing can have. And with the skills that I have and the knowledge I have ways and a means to be able to kind of turn everybody into a real entry level, beginning level drummer and be able to get a lot out of it. One of my big hopes is by making videos like this and demonstrating some of these different coping skills and different exercises, is that I can branch this out into actually teaching in-person workshops to various organizations, companies, businesses, groups, churches, whatever, right? Again, this all works kind of okay. No, not more than kind of. It works in this format, right? Being more of a virtual, but I think it works even better in person, right? So, one of the things I really want to remind anybody that's tuning in is that if you like this and you think this is really cool and it could be really fun to actually do something like this in person, please get a hold of me. I'm really looking to get out there and create assemblies for schools, speeches and lectures for different organizations, hosting different workshops. That is the point of all of this, is to continue to get the reps in and take what I'm doing here in these videos and then do it in an in-person kind of teaching classroom kind of setting. Right. So, with that said, and in the theme and the spirit of this being a mindful moment, what we're going to do now, I hope, is I'm going to play the steel tongue drum for about 5 minutes or so. What I want you guys to do is work really hard to just sit and listen, to just be, to check in with your senses, to work hard on just being mindful and present in this moment. And when the voices start coming in, when those intrusive thoughts trying to enter about the different things you should or shouldn't be doing, or this or that, right? Remind ourselves, no, right now, right here, I'm just going to listen to this drum, right? Um, so hopefully the microphone works, everything goes according to plan, and I'll play for about 5 minutes or so, and then we'll kind of take a moment at the end and see if you feel any different, if you notice anything different. I think a big thing I want you guys to pay attention to is how hard it is it to just focus on the drum for 5 minutes. Is it really hard? Is those voices, those thoughts keep bombarding our brain? Or is it like, wow, that was actually really easy. I could sit there and listen to that all the time. All right, so here we go. Let's think about it. Hopefully it works. Please bear with me. About 2 minutes left. not bad for somebody that is not an officially trained musician that doesn't understand anything about music theory, right? And again, one of the reasons I hope that it was enjoyable for you, and as nerve wracking it is for me, is one of the big things about this series is fighting that imposter syndrome, right? Is allowing you guys to see the nuts and bolts, the warts, the growth of hopefully this channel, of starting off just like this, doing it with the bare bones, the bare necessity. That was the first time I played that in a few weeks, but I want to bear it all here. I want to show you guys and demonstrate you guys the importance of going for it, right? So please, in the comments section, please email me. Let me know what that was like. Were you able to spend that 5 minutes, listen to that drumming? Were you able to block out the thoughts, or was it a constant chatter of, "Oh my God, would he just stop? Was that horrible?" Da 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 da. Whatever it is, please, please, please. Feedback is key. That feedback loop is crucial. I can't do a good job and help create the content that is meaningful and helpful for you guys if you don't let me know what works and doesn't work. Well, I sure hope you enjoyed that drumming experience. I hope my playing wasn't totally harsh on those eardrums of yours. Hopefully, the volume is working well with the mic. We can adjust things if need be, as this is one of the first times we're doing it this way. I want these episodes, these mindful moments, to be about 30 minutes long so that we can really make sure it's not too much, it's not too cumbersome, but it's enough time for us to really take a good check in, right? It's a good time for us to really take a time out from our daily life and really see where we're at and see how we're feeling about things, where our emotions are. Um, and so to wrap it up, what I really want to end it with is, I think, is a very powerful, important exercise. Is gratitude, right? Is taking a moment to really identify the things in life that we are grateful for. It doesn't need to be any one thing. It could be a whole bunch of things, right? But I really want us in closing to take a moment to sit and reflect on what matters most in our lives, what we're really grateful for right here, right now. I would say, as cliche as it might be, I am very grateful for my wife and my kids, my family. I am really trying to push through the imposter syndrome and expand my business into an area of public speaking that I might not be the most comfortable in. I don't really want to be in the public eye. I don't have any desire to get famous. But I want to help and I want to heal the world. So I'm very grateful for my wife and my family, especially my kids too, really, to give me the courage to push forward, to create this kind of content, to release these kinds of videos, to really give it a good stab and a good try. Because with a lot of hard work and a little bit of luck, who knows, right? Dr. Phil had to start somewhere, right? You have to start the journey somewhere, right? Maybe this is how I start my journey, right? How I get to do my TED talk, right? On how I get to become a motivational speaker that travels the world. Maybe this is the path. And without my wife standing behind me, without my kids encouraging me, none of that would ever be possible. So I am extremely grateful for my wife and kids. So, what are you grateful for? Right? Please, please, please feel free to leave it in the comments. Uh, Email me, let me know what you're grateful for, and take those moments to, if it's a person, it's a thing, organization, club, if you can, let that person know how grateful you are for them. Right? One of the big things in this world is a lack of positivity. We really need to do more of it. So I guess in closing, go out there, do kindness, be kind recklessly without abandon, help make this part of the world sparkle as much as we can. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.